Good morning, guys, and welcome to your Bitcoin report for this Monday, December 17th, 2018. We got a couple stories I'm following, so let's get the charts open right here, and let's take a look at what's going on. First, with cryptocurrency pricing. We're looking at Bitstamp. We're looking at the price going up to 33.87. We had a sudden rise in price this morning. We had a couple huge green spikes upwards in price, and the thing is, it took it up about $300. Really fast it went up too. This is a signal that big buyers are starting to go long on this market, and it hasn't really taken off yet. But what they've been doing is they've been accumulating. They've been accumulating Bitcoin. And you got your bears, but the bears are starting to weaken now a little bit. I think, actually, I'm telling you the truth, this is my opinion only, I think we're getting near a bottom. I don't think we're going to go too much down below $2,900. As soon as we get a 2 in front of it, I think that the pressure is going to be on it terribly on Bitcoin, because you got to understand, it's about 1/10 the price it was when it was at its peak. It's at a bargain right now. The air has all been let out of this bubble. If we go back and we take a look at the 12-hour here, take a look at this. We cut back. No, let's cut back to the one-day chart here. You take a look at the one-day chart. Just look at this precipitous fall in price from where it was down. That's the air coming out of the bubble, and we're back down to almost down to the level it was at this stage way back here when it started to take off. So most all the air's been let out of this, and it's getting ready to turn around. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations real quick, and what we see is all the coins are starting to take off this morning in price. We see $109 billion market cap. I think it did break down below 100 billion, but it's back up to 109 billion, 54.9% Bitcoin dominance. And what we see here is we see some of these coins taking off big. EOS, look at her go. Litecoin, almost 9% today alone. It's 28.55 on Litecoin. Litecoin is a wonderful coin. Of the coins, it's one of my favorites. XRP's taken off this morning too. She's up 4.31% on the day. Now, let's take a look at a few things going on. You know, the big movement that's been started in Europe, and now it's spread to Canada. Today I've heard it spread to Canada, is this yellow jacket movement, yellow vest movement. Well, you know, it's a worldwide phenomenon, and even though it's settled back a little bit in France, there's been 8 deaths recorded in France, you know, and it's settled back a little bit, but it's a worldwide movement. And guess what? They got their own coin. A new digital token using the symbols associated with the yellow vests protesters in France has been devised. It's the creators of the Gillet Jaune. I don't know French. I'm sorry, guys, but it just means yellow vest. The creators of the yellow vest coin claim that their main goal is to support what has become an international movement in the legitimate struggle of nations to self-determination and the reconquest of their economic, territorial, and monetary sovereignty. Now, I'm going to break that down for you, what this movement actually is talking about here. It's basically, I think a lot of it's emphasizing on Europe, and how they've all went to a one currency, a euro. When they're talking about monetary sovereignty on here, what they're talking about is going back to their old currencies. Monetary sovereignty. So it says this coin's website is littered with slogans such as "Get your freedom back," "Long live the yellow vests," "The people will not be sacrificed on the altar of debt." You see? And a lot of this relates back toward the measures that the European Union has taken against these countries to try to this austerity measures that they've taken, and they've repressed, and these countries have become poor. Countries that were once rich back when they had their own currencies now have become poor because of the euro. So that's basically what's happening, and it says this project's team claims that the coin is inspired by Bitcoin. It's based on Ethereum. They say it's easy to use, perfect for transactions, at ridiculously low costs. The developers of the new crypto further assure the public that the Yellow Vest coin is censorship-free and fraud-resistant, stating that its use is recommended during the fight against the banking oligarchy seeking to enslave us. They say here that it's unclear whether the digital coin is actually related to the Yellow Vest movement, but social media links on its website do not lead to real accounts. But Cointelegram is now has over 90 members. A movement of the Yellow Vest demonstrations, which started as a protest against increased fuel prices in France this past November, have spilled over into other European Union countries, even Turkey and Iraq. I'm going to tell you, one of the things I noticed about Turkey is it has spilled over into Turkey. They have really clamped down hard on it in Turkey. And the reason why is because Turkey is going through a monetary crisis of their own. They're already into almost into a hyperinflation. And you notice what happens when these countries start to go into these hyperinflations, like Venezuela and Turkey and stuff. They start turning to these coins as a secondary form of payment. Now, for a lot of these guys who are into silver and stuff, they were hoping that these countries would turn to silver. We already see the trend developing here. Venezuela got the petro. These countries are going to have the Yellow Vest coin, and they're going to use Bitcoin, and they're going to use the other cryptocurrencies. What they're turning to when the hyperinflation hits for a means of payment is cryptocurrencies, not gold and silver. And this is the new money for the new age. I mean, this money it can be transferred over the internet. You can't transfer gold and silver over the internet. Everybody now in the world, even Africa, has got cell phones now. And this money, it works on the cell phone system. And you can't use gold and silver, real gold and silver, on the cell phone system. We've moved into a modern age, is basically what I'm trying to say, and this is the money for the modern age. So now let's take a look at another story here. Let's switch gears. Coinbase is now allowing all U.S. users to withdraw their funds to PayPal, I guess in the form of cash. So it's going to make it easily transferable back and forth between your Coinbase account and your PayPal account. And so you'll be able to transfer funds, I guess, back and forth from PayPal into cryptocurrencies and back out from cryptocurrencies back into PayPal as cash. So it says Coinbase customers in the United States will now have better crypto and fiat accessibility. The exchange is allowing them to withdraw Coinbase cash balances to their PayPal accounts. Okay, so you can make a direct movement back and forth between your PayPal. This is going to really smooth things out a lot, because PayPal is one of the world's largest payment platforms. It will now act as another link between crypto exchanges and fiat currencies. So this is going to give more movement between the cryptocurrency and the PayPal, and you'll be able to just move more freely back and forth between crypto and cash, that you have in your bank account. It's going to be much more simple. It's going to be much more easy. There was a time back when Bitcoin was really cheap. Under $200 a coin. Yeah, I mean, you could buy a whole Bitcoin for like $200, and you couldn't buy the damn things. It was like, how do I buy this? They wouldn't take credit cards. And it wasn't simple to buy one. I actually had to get a money order back in those days. I had to get a money order. I had to send a money order to a company by mail. It took like 2 weeks. Wait for them to confirm that they actually had the cash in my account, and then I could buy Bitcoin. Once it was into Bitcoin, that was easy. I could transfer the money anywhere. It shows you how antiquated and slow the old payment structures are, the old system, and how these new payment structures that are being created within the cryptocurrency system or ecosystem makes things so easy. Like say you go to a website or something and you want to buy a subscription to a newspaper. You know, the cost to buy the subscription might be more than the subscription costs because they don't have the ability yet to make microtransactions. Cryptocurrency is going to allow for microtransactions. I mean, transactions of like 5 cents. Say a company's selling you something and you just want to read something on there. And they might be new internet companies that are going to come along that are going to have microtransactions. In other words, not going to cost very much. Things like different sites that you can go into. I'm going to tell you the truth. The porn industry is just going to love this because they can have sites where you can go into and it only costs like 5 cents. And you'll be able to pay them in crypto, 5 cents. Well, you can't do that with Visa. There's minimum transaction sizes and so on, and they take a certain fee for each transaction, like $1.50 or something. So the minimum transaction would have to be like $5 or more, you know. And they take a large cut. Well, the thing is with this, you can make a 2 or 3 cent transaction. Now, you might say to yourself, well, why would these companies on the internet want to bother with 2, 3 cent, 4 cent, 5 cent transactions? I'll tell you exactly why. You get 10 million people coming in making a 5 cent transaction. What do you got? You got a hell of a lot of money involved. And some of these companies might be selling products on the internet that only cost a nickel or dime. This is what cryptocurrency will now enable to happen. So we see a lot of advancement in the crypto industry here. The crypto is advancing even during this bear market. Crypto's growing. It's growing like a weed right now. And I'm going to tell you guys, like, well, let me just play something. I think I can play it here. I'll add it to the end here. Stay tuned to the end and watch what I'm going to have on right here. And this will tell you what's really going on with the big money is I'm telling you, they're getting in the floor of the cryptocurrencies, and they're not letting you know. In fact, they're telling you quite the opposite. They're telling you, stay away from this stuff. Don't buy it. It's no good. It's going to die and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, secretly, behind your back, they're in there buying it. Okay? Watch this clip, and this is the end of the show.
Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.